The Genius Insight. A warm welcome to everyone who's joining us today. This is your opportunity to talk about the features of the Genius and to see it live and in action as we do real cases in real time. Welcome to everybody who's here joining us. A couple of items of business. I want to remind you that the San Diego class is coming up. It's coming up at the end of April, so very, very soon, less than 2 weeks, you guys. If you're interested, please get in touch with me as soon as possible, and definitely join us in San Diego on the 28th and the 29th. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be explaining the essence of the Genius, what the Genius is, how to use it, but then we're going to do breakout sessions. We're going to work on each other. I'm going to be doing an extensive explanation of how to create customized categories. And then we're going to be doing specific protocols, you know, how to do anti-aging, how to do adrenal stuff, how to deal with colds and flu. So it's really a success system that I'll be showing you live and in person. So if you're able to manage to get to San Diego, it is going to be an excellent class where you'll get an advanced booklet and you'll get everything that you really need to use the Genius successfully. So if it's something that you think that you're going to be using this for a long time and you really want to have that confidence, then that's what the live classes really are for. We don't do a lot of live classes. So if you're a hands-on learner and you've been looking for that opportunity, definitely we have hotels very, very close to the venue, and it's an excellent venue. I think you'll really enjoy it. All right, so hang on one second here. Okay, excellent. I'm really appreciative of everybody who's joining us here today, and just want to mention some people. Vani is a new user, and Vani, warm welcome to you. And I think Fifi just jumped on here, and she's joining us as well, thinking about getting the Genius. Heather is here. Kay is here. She sent me, I think, to work on her case. And Vani says, dealing with a lung cancer, what is the best place to start in the system overview? When I start with the organs, cancer doesn't show up. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll get to that in just a moment. And hi, Karen. Karen from Switzerland says hi. I think we also have Karen from Canada, is not quite here yet. Tracy is here from Canada. William is here. Sherry joining us. Okay, so yeah, and then Lyle says, how do we rid ourselves of parasites with the app? You know, it's a really good question, Lyle, and I just want to get this point before I go into the cases. The Genius is a subtle energy device. It's not like the Rife system. The Rife system gives you a gross sort of frequency that may blow up a particular critter, may destroy it inside of you because of the resonance of that particular frequency with the particular bug or with a particular type of microorganism. That's what the Rife frequencies were for. This is more subtle. So it's going to perhaps improve your immune system, or perhaps create the awareness that the parasite needs to be eliminated from the body. It's a much more subtle process. So it doesn't really kill off the parasites per se, but over time it may disable the parasites in its own innate intelligence way. If that's something that you're dealing with, and we just have a sample client up here who happens to have a good resonance for parasites, then all one needs to do is go ahead and put parasites into the lower tray or the upper tray. That's really all you need to do, and then run the frequency. It's kind of a no-brainer. However, it's up to your creativity to take it further. So what if you include parasites, and then you also include things like the immune system, or you include minerals that help the immune system like zinc, or you also work on the digestive system, because that's where most parasites are, in the digestive system. Okay, so you see the idea then? So that's what we're working for. It's energetic medicine. So it really is a matter of patterns and common sense. So what vitamins are good for the immune system that would help the immune system to fight the parasite? Maybe vitamin C. So that's the kind of thing that you're going for. And then are there emotions that created the circumstances by which a parasite could take hold? Or here's another one. Are there electrosensitivities? Because we know from the work of Dr. Klinghardt that Dr. Klinghardt found that when you're exposed to different wireless or cellular frequencies, then parasites and microorganisms tend to grow more quickly. They tend to proliferate more quickly. So maybe then you want to put the cellular frequencies and the Wi-Fi up here. I'm only putting things in the quick zap because I'm choosing a few strategic pieces that would be helpful. So here we have parasites, digestive, vitamin E, cellular frequencies, and Wi-Fi. So we could easily run that for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So that would be an approach for eliminating the parasites. That's a very good question. There's a lot of confusion. That's why we try to do so much education about what biofeedback can do, what it's meant to do. So biofeedback is subtle information that gives your body a reminder about how to be well. It's not just like an instantaneous, although you may have an instantaneous healing. Usually it's multifactorial. You have to work on many different levels for it to be really successful. So you always want to be thinking, what is the root cause of this particular issue that I'm working on? What caused the parasites to be there in the first place? Now, something that a lot of people sort of forget in this equation is, where in the world would parasites come from? Well, they mostly come from pork and fish and different types of meat. So if you continue to eat those types of meat and you have a relatively weak digestive system, then you are going to probably be harboring or introducing more creepy crawly critters, as I call them. Or what's the state of your digestive system? If it's quite acidic or in disrepair, then it creates the terrain for that particular microorganism. For example, Candida is called the self-composting mechanism. If you have lots of waste and so forth, think of a tree when it falls down, it gets all of this moss on it. The Candida is when you have so much stagnation and disrepair, metabolic waste in the body, undigested food, that it causes the proliferation of the Candida. Okay, so Vani, you may want to send your husband's date of birth, but let me go over a few important things that you asked about here in the system overview. She said, cancer doesn't show up here, so what do I do? So make sure that I believe you got all of the 200 testing libraries that you would need, Vani. So you have to make sure that you add his information to the profile. So you have to go libraries and you have to go add to client, select all of my 200 libraries, and make sure that then they are populated here. You then select the libraries. And now you're going to have a long list of libraries because you have the 200, okay? And what you're going to do is go ahead and pop up here and type in the word cancer. And then this gives you the ability to start discovering why he has cancer. And we look at all of these and we can test all of them. We test the area of digestion. We test the area of the liver. We test the area of the immune system. We test the area of hormones. We test the area of optimal nutrition. And it gives us more of an understanding as to what is the reason that the cancer was able to grow, just like the parasites. And we want to harmonize all of these items. And that's how we do it. And you should, by the time you're finished testing, you should be able to go, gosh, I mean, look at the state of the liver and look at the state of the digestive system and look at the state of the hormones. No wonder a cancer was able to start to propagate. It's not a judgment, but it's just say, okay, now we understand. We see the cortisol imbalance. Okay, we start to understand. Oh, there's so many hormones that are out of balance. What may be going on here? And so that's really what you want to do, Vonnie, is you want to keep working on the things that are comprising, the things that are creating the situation. And that's where those cancer frequencies are. You have to look for them from the system overview. You have to go to the libraries and then search within the libraries by going to the search box at the top. And then you will find them there. Okay, so I'm going to get, I think, Kay, you had volunteered. So Kay, let me go ahead and look for your information. And a couple of things I want to talk to you about. You may have seen the email from Ryan, the developer, on Friday. Unfortunately, his link did not work, but he was asking for people who would help with the beta test. He's doing a whole reworking of the, basically, sorry, it wasn't spelled exactly right. He's doing a whole reworking of the Genius, you guys. And what's hilarious is that he usually doesn't, he sort of checks in with me after the fact. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you making this change? So what I'm really saying here is please get in touch with him and tell him you want to be part of that beta test, because I just have to turn the screen off for 1 second, you guys. So I can get her information in here. Please email and be part of that beta test, because he's creating this sort of accordion type setup on the Genius. And I don't think that a lot of the community is really going to like that setup of organizing the information. So it's really important if you can do the beta test and give him feedback that either you love it, which is totally fine, or you don't like it, and because otherwise he's going to drop that change. It's not really going to change how the Genius tests people, but I don't know that you're really going to like the organization of the information that you see. So please see if you can volunteer as a beta tester and take a look at that information, especially the way he's dropping the accordion style to organize it. I personally think it looks not good. So get in touch, and it's not going to affect how the thing tests, okay? That's all going to still be the same, but it is sort of going to affect your visual experience. So there we go. That's why I'm saying that. Okay, we also have a new library, which is called the Interstitium Library. And I don't know if you guys saw that in the most recent email that I sent out, but I just want to mention that the interstitium is part of the connective tissue, and it's recently been discovered as a new organ. The interstitium is now considered to be an organ. What is the interstitium? It's part of the connective tissue. The connective tissue in your body includes things like ligaments and tendons, also all of the stuff in between your organs that holds them together is considered to be the interstitium. And this particular aspect that they're talking about is they found some fluid-filled spaces within the interstitium, which was previously really thought to just be sort of more solid, not having as much fluidity, and also very, very difficult to get into the interstitium or to get to the connective tissue, because it was considered to be these densely filled collagen like cells. And it's really interesting that the connective tissue is really hard to get nutrition to or oxygen to, but when you're using frequency and you're directing frequency, frequency can go anywhere. So energy medicine can reach into the spaces that we usually cannot get to through physical means. And in particular, these fluid-filled spaces suggest that there's a water aspect, that the collagen is more fluid than we thought. We think it's this really dense collagenic part of the body. So I've come up with this new testing library with a guide that uses frequencies like, I welcome nutrition into the interstitium, I send light to the interstitium, healthy body communication through the interstitium, my DNA communicates better through the free flow of the interstitium. And so the interstitium is everywhere in the body. It is the connective tissue, and affecting the interstitium in one location affects it all over the body. And I don't know if you've ever read the book or looked at the book, The Living Rainbow Water by Mae Wan Ho. Living Rainbow Water by Mae Wan Ho. And in it, she really talks about the essence of water, the mysteries of water, which she is a brilliant woman who finds water to be absolutely amazing. And she says in this book, water turns DNA into an electrical conductor and gives it magnetic properties. And so it's interesting, if we can get into the interstitium and affect or take advantage of that fluid, we may be able to loosen up the places where we have stiffness and aching, just because we're not really able to get energy, often oxygen, nutrition into those areas. So we'll look at that panel today as we're testing. But my thought process is probably that working the interstitium, just like working the vessel harmonizing program or the nerves, has a very far-reaching effect for people. And it comes with a guide, and in the guide, it really explains, it's good for working with people with fibromyalgia or any type of issue with toxicity in the connective tissue. So that's the interstitium panel. The link is down in the question area. Okay, so let's talk to Kay if we can, if she has a microphone there, and find out a little bit about what's going on. Kay, can you hear me? Hello. Just try talking into your microphone. It looks like you have a microphone, but doesn't look like it's working there. Okay, it's always better if we can get the voice, but I understand not everybody comes on here and knows whether they have a microphone or not. You the guys are just, hey, yeah, I'm here. Let's go for it. Okay, so let me just see. We've got here. I was hoping she could tell the story of her case. And anybody else who wants to volunteer, now is a good time to do so. Everything just slowed down. All right, so let's see what we've got here. Okay, so we don't read anybody's last name. We don't reveal their personal details, but we do want to know about the case. Facial sores for over 2 years, very hard to heal, and they will be moved from one area to another. So skin stuff. Skin stuff is tough stuff. Used a lot of oils. Seem to get to use the oil and it stops working. Can feel vibrating in the sore and white balls coming to the surface. Don't know what that is. It sounds like maybe pus or something. Lymph drainage used in head and other areas. Ears become swollen. Inner and outer areas with clear discharge. Have used a lot of remedies, parasite cleanses, and alkalized for 6 months with happy caps and veg and fruit diet until I had blowback, stomach not acidic enough. I don't think your stomach is not acidic because you're using the happy caps, which are like alfalfa and barley caps, or that you're eating too many fruits and vegetables. Okay, that's not how this works. But I totally understand that, why you would come to that conclusion. So typically when we're talking about skin stuff, whatever is on the outside is related to stuff on the inside. So almost always that skin stuff is related to the digestion. So there's still something going on in the digestive system that is contributing to the skin stuff. Then you've got emotions and stress, hormonal changes, and the status of the immune system. So let's do some initial testing here. Nothing is as it seems, you guys. Nothing is the diagnosis. Everything is the story or the details behind the diagnosis. So that's what you want to look at. And the first part of your session is always exploration, just going back and forth and saying, well, that's interesting. Well, that's interesting. I don't see anything totally that jumps out at me here. Let's go to today's stress if there's nothing else here. There's not like a lot that's jumping out at all. Although I do see chemical sensitivities. So is there anything, Kay, that you think you might have been exposed to any type of chemicals or, it says fragrances, solvents, air pollution. So is there a way that the chemicals are part of things that you're exposed to regularly? Well, that could be challenging your immune system. We've got paint fumes, gasoline. Those are all very tough on the immune system. So if the immune system is affected, then that's going to affect the ability of the skin to regulate itself and to stay healthy. All right, so all right, excellent. So let's just see if Kay says anything here. Okay, no, Mike, that's okay. That's all right. Okay, so yeah, so actually the thing, Kay, don't you work you're with your husband in an auto body, some type of mechanical place? And that's, I'm starting to remember now, that to me is sort of jumping out at me. You guys, one thing I would recommend that you do when you start a session is, if you feel comfortable with this, is do this one thing. Just say, I completely open my intuitive abilities and trust my intuitive abilities. And if you do that before a session, you're going to notice that all of a sudden you're going to read the numbers and patterns in a completely different way. Because the information in your genius is always spot on, but it's a matter of you putting together the pieces and being open to the energetic information that you might receive, from within yourself, as well as reading the information in the genius. So we've got emotional, cardiovascular. So emotional, I think there's probably a stress component to this. Brain sensitivities, inflammation. So there's an inflammatory aspect. And whenever we have a skin piece, we want to get a complete intake or understanding of what the diet is. And you guys, trying to get a diet from a diet intake from someone is really difficult, because often they don't even realize the little things that the gum chewing or the cup of coffee or the little things that sort of sneak into their food plan. But so let me just read it again. Facial sores for over 2 years. I'm not sure what the sores piece is. Very, very odd, because you shouldn't really have sores like that unless there is this now is really starting to sound like a toxicity issue. The more I put the pieces together, I don't think it's like an acne sort of facial infection issue. Facial sores for over 2 years, very hard to heal, and they move. I'm almost positive this is a toxicity issue. And I think getting yourself glutathione, colonics, coffee enemas, castor oil packs, I think you're going to need to be continuing to detox. But please do not think that the Happy Caps veg and fruit diet, I would not veer away from that one bit. Your system really, really needs it. If you have low stomach acid, that is because of stress or toxicity or nutritional deficiency. So you could take, say, there's a company called Urban Moonshine, and you can get some bitters, and you want to take some bitters before you eat in order to promote your own stomach acid. Or Wise Woman Herbals makes a great gentian. You could do that. or take perhaps 1 or 2 hydrochloric acid tabs. But we should all get into the habit of consuming bitters, because bitters are the traditional piece that helps us to naturally produce really good solid stomach acid when we eat a meal. So that's really what I'm thinking. I want to do a little bit of further investigating, but I think a major detox and immune support is going to be the issue here. And we don't get too much help here. We see circulatory coming up here. And let's just see if there's anything else. Let's see what the minerals are. Often minerals are very strained in a case of toxicity. Let's see what's going on down here. Zinc. Now, interestingly enough, zinc is very important for the production of hydrochloric acid. So that is something that I would definitely recommend, to make sure you're getting enough zinc in the diet. Sodium is usually too much sodium, you guys. I don't see anything else that's so significant here. Let's look at glands. A little bit of thyroid stuff, some pancreatic stuff. So this is telling me that using some of the top digestive enzymes could be really, really helpful. That would help the immune system. It would help digestion. Let's just read the rest of this again. Use a lot of oils, and they seem to get used to the oil and it stops working. Can feel vibrating in the sore, and white balls come to the surface. Lymph drainage into the head and other areas. Ears become swollen. I'm almost positive this is toxicity. You need to employ more detox and make sure that you're not around those solvents and toxins as much as possible for some period of time. You need something that's going to probably a lot of very, very high antioxidant foods, or maqui berry, or so a lot of really high antioxidants, things like glutathione, things that will help to detox the body, perhaps some vitamin C, some types of detox regimen to really get this stuff out of your body. I think it's trapped in your body. Let's go ahead and look at some of the libraries and see if we can get some assistance from there. I just don't think it's purely a skin issue. Let's look at heavy metals and toxic exposures and just see what we get there. So you guys, what I'm testing now are the 200 of the 200 testing panels that I've created. You guys can accumulate these like 10 at a time, or you can get the full 200. If you're interested, please go ahead to my website, awakentotalhealth.com, and send me a message. So just looking at toxic exposures, here we go, awakentotalhealth.com. This is a type of pesticide, so that doesn't really help, but does say there's some toxicity. And then we've got some, I don't know if you drink out of any plastics, we've got more solvents. Parabens usually come from cosmetics, hair products, facial creams and things like that. And then phthalates that would be from some type of like automotive shop, could definitely have some phthalates. They're softer plastics, chemicals. Xylene is another one. So I see a lot of solvents here. Then toxic exposure remedies. Let's see what comes up here. The need for selenium, so the need to help the immune system. And there's that zinc again, but the one I was really looking for was glutathione, although glutamine comes up. Let's just do a little bit more testing. Let's test this one. It's just a little bit of a different panel. So there's all of that sort of, it's good because it sort of confirms it. There's the bisphenol, there's the parabens. Do you guys see how you're almost getting the same thing on a different panel? And those who say that's not consistent, like, look how consistent this is. Blue light exposure, so we definitely want to decrease that at night. Make sure you're not looking at computer screens after sunset. Cesium exposure, formaldehyde. I'm not too concerned about all that. I don't want to get into all of that, but I do think the occupational ones are definitely, yeah. So it's a combination of immune system and toxicity. That's what we've come up with. Let's just do the skin assessment panel. See if there's anything here. The need for hydration. the need to alkalize. So yeah, so keep alkalizing. This is what I talked about, the antioxidant need. Maybe mangosteen or maki berry or something, a really strong, maybe make sure you're getting blueberries every single day. Really need to get some antioxidants in there. Skin solutions. Okay, carrot seed oil, hyaluronic. I don't think these things will be long-term solutions. I think it has to be much more from the inside out. So let's see if there's anything else. It looks like it would be. I did want to see the pathology, the physiology, and see what was coming up there. All right, so let's see the stratum corneum, melanocytes. All right, so stuff in the actual skin itself. All right, now let's just look at inflammation. Inflammation, and let's look at some causes. So let's look at the inflammation assessment, see what's causing some of the inflammation. Dental infection, food allergies, environmental allergies, parasites. Interesting. So, well, if your immune system is weak and you do have a lot of parasites, that could be contributing to the source, but I really think it's much more toxicity based. All right, so let's see. And let's just do an infection assessment just to see what comes up. You guys, when I scan this, I look and I see what is relevant to the case. I'm not going to look at all of those because they're not as relevant to the case right now. I mean, yes, there's some energy about Lyme, but really try to test anyone and tell me that you don't get Lyme if you look for it. All right, let's just do some anti-infectives. All right, let's drill everything down and see if we come up with anything from here. Let's go into the progressive insights and just see what we've got here. Because there's nothing coming through strong. Okay, there we go. So phthalates, environmental allergies, sensitivities, oops, xylene, air pollution, lymphatic. So I'm more convinced than ever that it's a detox protocol that's needed. You know, okay, this is something that you may want to do a consultation with me in order to get more information, in order to get a really comprehensive detox for yourself, because we really need to do some glutamine, some glutathione, maybe some MSM, let's see, sulfur, which is in the MSM, some zinc, green tea, dandelion, just all of the depuration, the detoxification things. I think that's going to give you the best results, and you just have to keep working on it. We just have to keep peeling the onion. I didn't get a chance to incorporate any of the emotions or the flower essences, so if you're please make sure that you're using those in all of your balancing. So it would have been more powerful if I had used emotions and flower essences in my harmonizing here. All right, so then I got okay, let me know if that's helpful at all. And I was living across from an apple orchard 20 years ago when I first became ill. Okay, doesn't it make more sense though that it has to do with I don't know, are you home all the time, or are you working with your husband, or do you go into the shop at all, I guess is my question. But anyway, that's what I found. So take that with a grain of salt. That I think it's a toxicity case. And so just keep working on detox. And I would use castor oil. Use castor oil over your tummy, over your abdomen, over your liver. Even not on the particular skin thing, but you could use it around the skin thing. Castor oil is kind of amazing, and it does help with lymphatic drainage. So please don't put it on the actual sores. You would just put it around the sores. Okay. So Wendy, is Wendy here? Wendy sent me information as well, but I don't see her on the live class. Wendy, if you're here, give me a, hey, you missed me, I'm here, but I don't see you on the live class. So is there somebody else? Vonnie, you can volunteer your husband. My website is awakentotalhealth.com if you're looking for my website, and that's where a lot of information is. The interstitium information is there. You can make an appointment with me if you want to, consultation. But let's see who wants to be next to get some live scanning done. So let me know if you're interested in that. Hi, Penny. And Fiona says bisphenol is in canned foods. It's really nice that bisphenol, actually some of the companies are saying they'll have a notification on the cans that the bisphenol A is no longer lining the cans. So look for that. All right, let's see. Some of you guys had really good comments, so let's just see some of your comments here. Let's see. All right, so I also want to get rid of parasites. Why Young Living grounding on the parasite point and overall grounding seems to seriously reduce parasites. So I don't think a lot of people know where that grounding point is, but good one, Kelly. I think people who are in Young Living probably can find that out. Sweet Annie tests well for parasites, different types of herbs in different stages, of course. Not all herbs kill all stages. I don't know what Sweet Annie is, but that's a good one, Dr. Kim. I appreciate you being here. Libraries are in his profile. So Vonnie, did you look up C for cancer? If you do, you should be able to check it, but it's not going to be in the main part. You have to go into the libraries themselves. How do you spell this? The words are too small for us to read. I don't know what word you're referring to. So Karen from Canada, wonderful Karen, our clan mother there. If you have an issue with sacred geometry, please send it to Ryan. I have no ability to do anything about that. Okay. So yes, auto, but health went down before that, and I believe it was a virus. I don't think that's the case, but Kay, you are always the arbiter or the one who's the most wise about your own health. So if that feels true to you, then definitely, then that really is the case. Then you should definitely do something about it. But I think detox will help you a lot. Okay. Is it true that Chinese medicine says that the skin is the chimney of the liver, indicating that's Annette? That's exactly what I said. Thank you for. She says that the Chinese medicine says the congestion is the chimney of the liver, indicating liver congestion from toxins. Thanks, Annette. That's exactly what I said. Thanks for sort of emphasizing that. All right. Okay. All right. So Vonnie, send me your husband's date of birth. Okay. Because if you want me to work on him, then we need to get his date of birth. So send it to me in the chat area. No one else can see your chat. I do want to just go back to Kay for a moment here, and I do want to look at the aura while we're waiting to get that information. Take a quick look at the aura. So you guys, once again, Ryan is planning a total overhaul of the appearance of the genius, how it appears. He's calling this like the accordion version. So if you would be a beta tester for that, I think it would be a good idea because you can give him feedback. Often my feedback is not enough, especially when he has something he really wants to implement. So do give him your feedback about maybe you love it or maybe you don't find it that helpful. So definitely let me know. All right, or let him know. So you want to make sure you email him rw@quantumhealthapps.com and just tell him you want to be part of the beta test, okay? All right, so, and I just wanted to drill this down again, you guys. So I wanted to, the 3-minute drill down is really, really important, you guys, after running for a few minutes, because you get more information about the case this way. Epidermis, cardiovascular, metallic implants, inflammation, pesticides. You know that chlorpyrifos, that could be from apples. I think that's one of the pesticides they do spray on apples. Parabens, melanocyte, zinc, stratum granulosum, that's part of the skin, radio waves, gynostemma T, pancreas circulatory. Okay, so I still think it's one of toxicity, but I think, you know, maybe you were not well with the chemical exposure, and maybe this only made it worse. But sores are a sign of something deeper. So, you know, you definitely want to take care of that. That something has gone deep. All right. So, Bonnie, you're already chatting. So if you want to send me, you just write it in the chat area. But we do have Fifi. Fifi is volunteered here. So while we're waiting for Bonnie to send the date of birth, which all you do is just chat it exactly where you've been chatting. It's no worries. It's not easy to figure all this stuff out. And then Fifi, you wanted to volunteer. So I don't know if you have a microphone either. Let's go ahead and just put Fifi's information in. Oops, there. Okay, so you guys have really great suggestions. I love it. We have so many people who are so wise and have good suggestions. Thanks, you guys, so much. And so let's go ahead. And something I don't want to forget to say is if you are getting ready to purchase your Genius, would you be kind enough to go through my website, awakentotalhealth.com? If you'd like to support the work that I do, if you enjoy coming to the class and get some good benefit, it allows me to continue to do what I do and do research. So I thank everyone who sends their referrals through my website, awakentotalhealth.com. Thank you so much. And it's really get the same. You really get the same app, but you get my customer service, and you can get the benefit of some of my testing panels as well. All right, so Fifi, we're going to work on you. Fifi's having an issue with some anxiety that we're going to do. And what we do, the reason you don't see the screen, you guys, is because I'm preserving the personal details of that particular person. So Fifi has not gotten her Genius yet. We're going to be talking to her later today, and she wants to work on some anxiety stuff. So a good place to work on anxiety is with the mind. We've got emotional. The flower essences are extremely powerful. Even working with brain anatomy, working with neurotransmitters. You could do all of your harmonizing right in here. You can look for herbs in the herb panel like valerian that help the person to calm down. Of course, we always want to be asking, what is behind the anxiety? What is the root cause of the anxiety? So that's something you want to certainly, you know, ask yourself so that you get more information, you know better where to test. You know, if somebody was taking a medication, the medication could be causing the anxiety. So let's go ahead. We do have a lot of energy up with the emotions. So the reason I say that is because you've got so many emotions coming up in red and coming up in blue. And then we definitely want to get to those flower essences. So we want to work on the flower essences as well. So get those, because those are going to tell the story. The way to help yourself or to help another person is to tell the story of why this is happening, to give acknowledgement. To give the acknowledgement, to tell the story for another person is to help to provide context. And that can be very, very calming for them to be acknowledged, to be understood. We often really seek in life to be understood. The people that we connect with the most are often the people who understand us on a deep level. We're seeking to be understood. It's the value of the Genius. Okay, we've got a frontal lobe and cerebellum. So anytime you have emotional stuff, you want to seek to balance the brain, balance the parts of the brain. High gamma, I don't know. Delta, I'm not sure, but let's just harmonize them anyway. I don't have any big story to tell about those. And of course, the neurotransmitters, particularly GABA, is something we want to keep a look on. Now, it's not really high. It says oxytocin is pretty low. So Are you getting enough rest? Are you getting enough emotional nourishment? Are you able to have fun and enjoy yourself? That's what really promotes that oxytocin. So that may be something to focus on, or at least to know about. All right, so for anxiety, you can include any of these other things. And the nausées are actually really good too. There's a lot of effects on the brain that come from the nausées. And when you're looking for help with the brain, the nausées are extremely underutilized by our community. You know, we don't use them enough. Nausea F is specifically at 73 hertz it resonates with the subcortical lower regions of the brain, including the thalamus and the hypothalamus. It's known to be for emotional reactions. They're the two major control centers for body functions. May also help with muscle spasms, facial pain, headaches, and depression. So we definitely want to include F. We've also got nausea B. So we just looked that up. This is from the Mastery Guide. Nausea B is excellent for people with digestive issues. It may improve in nutritional assimilation. You guys, wouldn't be surprised if part of this is a digestive issue, or if one was profoundly affecting the other, the anxiety affecting the digestion affecting anxiety. So cellular vitality resonates with the ectoderm that forms the skin, glands, nerves, eyes, ears, teeth, brain, and spinal cord. So we want to include that as well. And by the way, even though nausea C is not really resonating, it's really great to use nausea C. It's for cellular vitality when somebody really, really needs a lift of energy. So let's go right into progressive insights, because that's going to give us more information about the emotional underpinnings of what's going on. So that's something that we really want to understand. And here we use the original meaning from Bach. It's something you can look up online. You can look up some of the information in my Mastery Guide, where I've given you some very quick meanings of these. And not surprisingly, we've got a lot of these that are coming up. All right, so hang on. All right, so we've got elm, cherry plum, and pine. You guys, the flower essences on here should not be underestimated, especially with emotional stuff. They're going to tell the story of what's going on for the person. So hang on, let me just get this out, my little cheat sheet guide here. And let's look at elm. Elm is for those who are doing good work, are following the calling of their life, and who hope to do something of importance, and this often for the benefit of humanity. At times, there may be periods of depression when they feel the task they have undertaken is too difficult and not within the power of a human being. Depression, overwhelmed by responsibilities, despondent, exhausted. So I guess, Fifi, does that sort of describe you? Or, you know, you can ask yourself that. And then we've got cherry plum. I mean, that sounds like something that would cause anxiety for someone, that type of a scenario. Cherry plum is fear of the mind being overstrained, of reason giving way, of doing fearful and dreaded things not wished and known wrong, that there comes the thought and impulse to do them. Fear of losing control, temper tantrum, breakdown, abusive, rage, explode. And then one more is pine. So go down. Now, whenever these match your client or match you, the minute that you recognize a match between you and the particular issue, you start to release it. You start to discharge it, even before you press the button to start doing the harmonizing. So pine, for those who blame themselves, even when successful, they think they could have done better and are never satisfied with the decisions they make. Would this remedy help me to stop blaming myself for everything? Guilt, self-reproach, humble, apologetic, shame, unworthy, undeserving. When you feel guilt and self-reproach, not necessarily based on any actual wrongdoing, but such that it destroys the possibility of joy in living. So lots of self-judgment. So good stuff, you guys. When you tell the story and the story resonates for the person, then they'll start discharging it. They'll start doing a lot of releasing as you're explaining them to them. Okay, so Fifi, I don't know if that resonates. Yeah, she says yes. She's got 4 kids. That explains a lot of what came up on the different things that we just tested for her. That explains a lot of it. So we send you blessings and many, many prayers for your upliftment. I look forward to talking with you in a little bit, and I can answer your other questions. I know you're considering the genius as a possibility. So Vani, we didn't quite get your information. All you needed to do was just write it in the chat where you've been asking questions. Oh, you did put it down there. I do apologize. So we can look at this. We only have about 4 minutes left. Let's do it real quickly. So yeah, Fifi, when we talk, remind me and we can go back and do some more harmonizing on you, my dear, and get you some more energy. You're giving that energy out to everyone around you to help and assist them. And so we certainly want to help you. So biofeedback is a matter of reading the patterns, you guys. It really is not just like exactly what is there on the screen. It's really about beginning to have a system of telling a full story and then recognizing the patterns as they come up. So that's very, very important, and that's what I seek to teach people. That's what we've done in the practitioner program. That's what we've done in that we're going to be doing in the success system in San Diego. It's how do you have confidence in the system that you know what to do, you know how to find things, and you know what you're looking for. That's really, really important, and that's why we do that in the class every week. We want to really emphasize that and really help people to understand what biofeedback is and what it is not, so that you can set the expectation with your clients. It is a way to get subtle information. It is a way to detect many, many things energetically, but it doesn't get the same results for every person. And it's the technique that you're using the whole multifactorial technique and learning how to read the frequencies over time that really gets you where you want to go. Okay, so this is our gentleman with the cancer, with the lung cancer. Herbs, glands, infection, stress, amino acids, digestion. Oh my goodness, digestion. You guys, chronic, we just did a chronic cancer class, okay? We did 8 classes, it's available for download. Digestion is the most important of all. So we've got to get the digestion cleaned up. Now this shows us enzymes and small intestine. I want to look in some other areas for some more information about digestion. And sometimes when you get low numbers like this, even if there's been a strong indication here, sometimes there's an overall message, you guys, of depletion. So he may be very, very depleted. That could be from cancer treatments, or it could be from the stress of having cancer. And so sometimes you don't get a lot of red. You don't get strong readings, and you have to understand that may be also communication of the pattern of that person. All right, so we're just going to wait for this to sort of switches here. There we go. Okay, so it does say toxic exposure. Is it possible that Carl could have had, this looks like a day of toxicity. Could Carl himself have had any type of toxic exposure, Vani? Maybe let us know that. So let's look a little bit more at that cancer digestive panel. So this is the testing that you want to do for him. He's got leaky gut. He's gluten intolerant. Energetically, take this with a grain of salt. Energetics. He may be insulin sensitive. He's consuming his food sensitivities, colonic congestion, gallbladder congestion, sugar regulation, pancreatic enzyme need, pancreatic output. Okay, so those pancreatic enzymes help with metabolic processes. So even in lung cancer, there may be a shortage of the ability to process things metabolically. There's a huge need here for a major digestive cleanse. That doesn't necessarily mean juicing, although it could. It means that maybe a plant-based diet with a lot of juices, a lot of vegetables, a lot of really, really good nutrition, and eliminating all of the refined sugar, most of the meats, the dairy. But we've got to do something to really help this digestion. Very rarely when you go to a oncologist do they say, we think we need to clean up the digestive system. But there is such a deep connection between the breakdown of the digestive process and the ability to clear metabolic waste from the body and the development of cancer. So it's really important to adjust to address that. We do see some estrogen dominance. I wouldn't necessarily put that as causing lung cancer, but it does say that there could be the too much consumption of meat or exposure to plastics or something is bringing in estrogen. That's not very helpful. It says estrogen excess. So you see how these things sort of mirror each other and you gain more confidence that what you're looking at is accurate. Now, there have been studies with melatonin for people with cancer. There was one specific study where people took 20 milligrams of melatonin in order to help to heal the cancer. It's a very, very high dose. But melatonin acts as a profound antioxidant. And when they gave these high doses of melatonin, people excreted significantly more heavy metals, including mercury. So isn't that interesting that what you're getting at night in total darkness is a profound antioxidant? Interrupted sleep will affect this melatonin. So then we have to say, why is the melatonin disrupted? Now, one of the common reasons is that there are too many electronics in the bedroom. So whether it be the cell phone, the iPad, the TV that's in the room, or even lamps or electronic alarm clocks, those need to be eliminated. In addition, we want to make sure that the room is as dark as possible. And if you could possibly turn off your wireless router at night, that would help a lot as well. So there's something disrupting the melatonin. So that's what these cancer panels are about. They're meant to say, what is the soup or the terrain that the cancer is living in? And let me find out the circumstances around that, rather than a one-size-fits-all toxic approach to annihilating the cancer. We find out more what are the physical, emotional, energetic circumstances around the cancer, and then we also look for solutions. What can we do about it? What can we do to support the immune system? It says infrared saunas, holy basil for the adrenals, cat's claw for maybe an underlying infection that could be challenging the immune system. Then we get some frequencies that help us energetically. So optimize kidney function for proper elimination, increase neuronal efficiency, so communication between the cells, optimize stem cell function, release vaccination effects. So we know that the implications with the GC-MOF and the Nagelis, that there may be a disruption of our ability to regulate ourselves, to protect ourselves from cancer based on early vaccinations. Optimal colon function, forgiveness, healthy telomeres, happy DNA. Expand the P53, which is a tumor suppressor gene, happy and healthy cell growth. So you guys, you can entrain all of this into your energy field. And this is how we deal with cancer from an energy medicine perspective. I'm sure he's a very kind person, but maybe he's not kind to himself. More kindness, my perfect cancer-free frequency, natural killer cells, laughter, ideal hormonal balance. When you ask the question, we're scratching our heads, what'll cure the cancer? What'll cure the cancer? Biofeedback gives us that information. What are the pieces that will help? But they're never just one piece, like just chemotherapy. That's just silly, because people are complex and they're multifactorial. So why wouldn't our approach need to be on a dynamic multifactorial basis. So Vani, this is what I want you to spend time doing, is employing these frequencies. You get them down into the multi-hole tray, and then you basically harmonize them here in the progressive insights. So it says optimizing the stem cell function, pancreatic enzymes, my perfect cancer-free frequency, the mouth, healthy telomeres, insulin sensitivity, carrot juice, and so on and so forth. All right, so let's see what we've got. Okay, I've been on keto. He's been on keto for 3 months. Well, you know, I have my opinions about keto. I don't think it's necessary to go to the extremes of keto, but could estrogen be from chicken? Yes, it can. He has high lead and mercury. Can we see his aura? Asks Sherry. Yeah, we can do that before we wind up. Agent Orange. He was exposed to Agent Orange. My God, bless you. Sending many, many blessings and love to you. We didn't test there really, but yeah, because I mentioned the toxicity, that really is good. So let's go ahead and we can take a look at the aura and then we'll wind up. So be sure to contact Ryan, RW at quantumhealthapps.com, and ask to be part of the beta so you can see the new accordion function. That's going to be a different display of the information you get on your Genius. I highly recommend that you give him feedback on that, you guys. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the aura. Not bad, not bad. It looks like Vani's been working on him. So this actually looks pretty good. So keep up the great work, Vani. Good job. So you guys check out the interstitium panel. It's down in the chat. I'll send another email this week, including that information about the interstitium panel. Good work, everyone. Thank you, everyone who volunteered. If you're still on the edge about San Diego, I say go for it. You will not be sorry, guys. We're going to just do a lot of surprises and really fun things in the class. I know you're going to have a great time. I hope you have a wonderful day, a great week. This will be available on YouTube, and in my weekly email, I'll send you this recording. Thank you, everyone. Many blessings, much love, and much prosperity for your week. Take care, everyone. Be well. Bye-bye for now.